Hello, I'm Elyssa West, a career advising coach here with.
Ulysses Smith. I'm actually an account executive of brand and athlete partnerships at 160 over 90. It's an Endeavor company. It's a sports and creative agency.
What did you do prior to this?
So prior to this, I actually just got into this role probably about a month and a half ago. Prior to this, I was working with the NFL Players Association and Partner Services Department. So that's also in partnerships.
Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today. So, we're going to kind of go over some of the questions and you can answer, but it's going to be a quick interview,
I
okay?
got you.
All right. So, the first question, can you tell me about yourself and your professional background? You kind of hinted a little bit, but kind of talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So my professional background really kind of started honestly when I was young. I always knew I wanted to be in sport. Kind of kept that going. I knew I wanted to be in a place where I loved what I did. I wasn't just at a 9 to 5, a regular 9 to 5, sitting at my desk all day. Kind of took that, went to college, attended Temple University. After attending Temple University and graduating in sports tourism hospitality management, I had opportunities to, do internships with the Pittsburgh Steelers in their brand and marketing department, have opportunities to work with the Philadelphia Union in their events department, and also had opportunities to work with U.S. Lacrosse and also working with the Philadelphia Eagles after college, and then again leading up to working with the NFL Players Association for a little over 2 years, and then now working over at 160 over 90.
Perfect. Okay. What's your favorite team? I had to ask.
Favorite team? I'm a Cowboys fan at heart,
You're
but
supposed to say the Steelers, okay?
no, not a Steelers fan. I love them. They were great over there. Definitely gave me a head start to my career. But I love all NFL teams,
Definitely.
but one specifically holds heart to the Cowboys.
Oh my. Okay. Next question. What motivated you to pursue this career path?
Um, like I said, I'll touch on it a little bit again. Like I guess
Mhm.
I grew up playing sports. Always grew up playing football. It was I would say my first love. Started when I was 5, and I just always loved being on the field. I love everything that had to revolve around the game. And being an athlete, we all think we could play forever, but we can't all play forever. So I knew I always wanted to still somehow be in that atmosphere of the football world. I just loved, like I said, everything that came with it from, how we get fans into the seats, how the marketing and branding happens at the games, how the players even get paid, or, how the players are even acquired, or, the outside deals that the players do off the field. What do the players represent off the field? Everything that touches into the world of football, I was always interested in. So, as I got older, I started doing more research on it, and just being around the game more, learning. And, I was an athlete that I got hurt also. So it was just like I knew my plan B was going to come faster than my plan A was going to come true. So, in doing that, just went to college, looked at a lot of the programs when I was, making that transition from high school. And it was kind of straightforward. I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be in a space where I could create uh, athletes to show who they really are and be in that football world. And like I said, not a regular 9 to 5. I'm not sitting at my desk all day. I'm traveling. I'm moving around, making calls, sending emails. Got to work on a lot of cool projects. So
I think it's perfect that you kind of like came from football and you're like, all right, I need to have a plan B or a backup just in case
yeah,
because you said you got injured. And I feel like a lot of students that I'm having conversations with, they're like, I only want to be a football player. And I'm like, okay, but what if something were to happen? Not saying it would, but we got
yeah,
to have a backup. So I'm glad you kind of touched on that and you kind of made like that your focus going into school, like, hey, this might not be a forever thing, so let me start thinking about what I could do that would be related to football. So
yeah,
that's what we're kind of trying to get the students to understand, like, hey, that might not just be your landing, once you leave
I would
school.
I would definitely I would definitely encourage students to think about their plan B, even
Yes.
though don't want to deter you from your plan A. I mean,
Hmm.
if sports is your passion, go for it. Keep fighting for it. But at the end of the day, it is going to come to an end. It's a sad, realistic thing that you have to realize. Inside thing is the NFL stands for not for long, especially on the player side.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're probably gonna what max play to, maybe 30. If you're blessed to do that or anything like that. So you have a lot of life left. So you're gonna have to figure out a plan B to still sustain that life you have and sustain your family or, whatever other endeavors you have. So it's definitely important to think about that plan B.
Thank you for the insight. So, next question. What do you think are the most important qualities for success in your field?
Uh, Qualities, I would say success in my field. I would really say just having an open mind and a strong personality. I mean, I feel like this business is all about networking, who you know, who you don't know, and things such as that, how you handle yourself. But that personality really comes into play. Having a drive and love for the sport is important that you want to participate in or just sports in general, because sports is a tough field. You have a lot of long hours, a lot of long nights. You're working holidays. When you're watching games on TV, on Christmas and Thanksgiving and Halloween or whatever you want to call it, like we're still working. So those holidays are gonna come very slim picking. So you really have a love for the game and have a love for what you do. So I would say that passion really comes into play when you want to work in sports, having that personality and having that drive to be like, okay, I'm happy to be here. I love what I do. Your teammates and your coworkers really become your family because you guys spend a lot of time together. Sometimes even more than your real family. You guys are talking to them a lot, and sometimes getting paid is, we would love to make $1 million, but sometimes we're not making that at all. So, like I said, that passion and love has to come with it. So just being and having that love for the game is important.
Thank you. You kind of touched on this about networking. So, how do you approach networking and building professional relationships?
I'm gonna say be yourself. Be yourself. I feel like a lot of times people say networking, you have to act a certain way or do a certain thing, but I would definitely say be yourself, reach out to people, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Um, And when I say be yourself, there's always a filter version of yourself, but still, stay true to who you are. Don't change who you are or where you come from just to network or get in with people. So I would say that's how I approach it, just being my authentic self, showing my passion and love for what I do, and, talking about the experience that I've done and, letting it be known that I can help in this manner or, maybe I don't know everything. So then taking an approach to being like, hey, this is interesting that you do this. I would love to talk more about this and get more insight on it. So definitely have an open mind, be willing to learn, be willing to listen, but then also be able to advocate for yourself and the experiences that you have.
Thank you. So, what specific education or training prepared you for this career?
I would definitely say college and my internships. I mean, um, attending Temple University was great. I mean, their sport tourism hospitality management program, excuse me, well, it was great. You had to do a lot of internship hours and experience hours to even graduate. So I think that kind of prepared me for when I did graduate, I already had kind of that experience, that firsthand experience, those touch points, those connections already made. They made you, create a LinkedIn profile. They made you, get as many followers as you can and talk to these people, not just following random people on LinkedIn, but also connecting with them, learning how to connect with them and what's the purpose of doing it. But in doing that, my internships, I believe that firsthand experience was super important to me. I think that's what sports is. It's not all about that piece of paper that you get when you walk across the stage. That is important. But at the end of the day, it's all about the experience that you can bring to that organization that you're looking to be a part of or who's looking to hire you, because it's all hands on. It's all hands on. It's just not sitting at your desk, like I said. So having that experience in the field is super important. And I think that's what kind of prepared me for my career is, working with teams like the Steelers, the Eagles, and, the NFL Players Association and all those internships where I had those different experiences to prepare me for, my future.
So, what are your primary responsibilities of your position? Like,
Yeah,
give me a
so
day to day.
yeah, my primary day to day here at 160 over 90 being in brand and athlete partnership. So here I am in charge of, well, I work on a team actually of a client that we have, which is USAA, and within doing that, everything that the client needs we handle for them. So I work hands on with their NFL partnership. So USAA has a partnership with the NFL, so all their marketing assets and deal points that they have, we help them execute as far as acquiring player talent or in partnership, and along with the major tentpole events that happen with the NFL, such as like Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, draft, things such as that. So working in the day to day, I would just say it's different every day. Fires come up every day that you might have to put out, but you lean on your team, you lean on your experience, you lean on, just like I said, working in that team environment to help you put those fires out. So day to day wise, I would say it's different. Today I could be working on helping acquire a player for a partnership, or working on a tentpole event, or working on training camps that's coming up, or anything such as that. So day to day, like I said, it varies, but that's what I love about sports. You never know what you're going to get. You can walk in a building and have a very relaxed day, but at 4 o'clock, you're about to get out the door in an hour. It's like six fires might appear. So, or you might have a long day walking in the building at 9 a.m. So you never know. But I think that's what it kind of looks like at a day to day for me.
Okay, so if you're running out and there's like so many fires, how do you balance work life and personal life?
That's hard. Like I said, you could be, even though you leave at your day's technically over at 5, your day's not really technically over. The client might need something, or you might have to put in extra hours after you get off, in all phases, working on the team side, working on the agency side, or working with the NFL Players Association. There all might be times where you might have to put in that overtime work, but that's where the love and the passion comes from. So balancing that work and personal life is pretty hard sometimes. Like I said, working on holidays, sometimes you miss those holidays, you miss those family functions, or when you're at home and you're supposed to be spending time with your family, you might be on your laptop, or a call might come in where you have to answer because you need an answer yesterday, but so you have to present it tomorrow. So it's kind of hard, but you have to figure out that time where it's like, okay, like I gotta put my phone down, I gotta put my laptop away, like, and spend time with my family, or spend time with whoever, to be present in that moment. But it's definitely hard working in sport. There's a lot going on.
How did you figure it out?
How did I figure it
Yeah.
out?
Or are you
Sometimes
still
my
working on it?
Yeah, still working. Honestly, I'm still working on it. Still working on it. Being a young professional, you always have that drive and passion to try to be the best you can be, especially being young in the industry. So you always want to make sure you're on top of things. So I'm still working on that. But sometimes my family and friends have to tell me like, hey, like I need you here with me, or like, don't, you're not working today, things such as that, and managing to actually use my PTO and take time off and take vacation and things like that, and making sure things are in a good spot before you leave. But I'm still working on it. I would definitely say
Okay. Well, yeah, keep working on it.
that.
All right. If you could give yourself, your younger self, one piece of personal, I mean, no, not personal, professional advice, what would it be?
Professional advice, I would say be yourself, and do what you love to do. Everybody's path is different. I feel as in any career, you look at it and you feel like you have to do it a certain way to get to climb that ladder, or get to that certain pay cycle, or pay raise, or whatever you would call it, or that certain title. But do it in a way that feels comfortable for you. Stick to truly who you are. You don't have to follow the same path that X, Y, or Z took. Take your own path. So I feel like that's something that it's good advice that I learned, and that I would tell my younger self, just because, this game and this sports world is different. Everyone has different experiences. No one's the same. No one gets to the top the same. So just be patient with yourself, have confidence in yourself, and, keep pushing, and it'll come eventually.
That's good advice. All right. What is something you wish to see develop or bring more attention towards in your career field?
I would definitely say diversity, making it a better pathway for, diverse people to come into the sports industry. It's definitely hard sometimes, but at the end of the day, I believe people like me and other colleagues that I have and things like that, we got to use the positions that we're in to bring the people beneath us up, so we can keep developing that diversity in the sports field and bring opportunities to different students or to different college and universities where it's like, okay, hey, I'm happy to help you, shoot me a message and we can chat and we can talk about different opportunities or weigh your options or kind of create a path for you. So I'll believe like, diversity is something that I would love to see change, but then also, like I said, it's all about who you know, who you don't know. So it's hard to, kind of get into these, great organizations or, these great positions if you don't really know anybody. So it's definitely hard to, work your way in. But like I said, I would definitely look to help to bring, the people beneath me up.
Yeah, so internship sounds like a good thing, right?
Yeah, internships are great. I'm a big advocate for that. I believe that's how I kind of got my way into the industry and making connections and, building kind of my resume up like that is definitely doing as many experiences as I can. And even I believe doing internships help you figure out what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Even being an intern, there's things that I didn't want to do where I know it's like, further on in my career, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I'm not interested in this. I
Yeah,
don't like, just sitting around at my desk or I don't like, specifically planning events or anything like that. So internships teach you a lot. So I think they're very important. I'm a huge advocate for them.
that's good. Good to know and good to let other people know about internships.
Yeah, definitely do
That's,
them.
yeah. So, what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Best piece of advice I've ever been given. Um, I would say just be yourself. I mean, I feel like we live in a world where you could get lost in who you are. And I say be yourself. Don't be a follower, be a leader. Kind of, do what's best for you. Don't let someone tell you what you shouldn't and should do. Even if it's playing sports or somebody tells, oh, you shouldn't play sports. Look, if that's what you love to do, pursue it. Always have a plan B or C or whatever that may be, but pursue what you love to do. Stay true to yourself, like I said, be a leader, not a follower. I think that's something that's super important. When trying to develop and learn who you are. I mean, like I said, even being like a young kid, there's so many different voices that are coming at you from your parents, your friends, your teachers, whoever it might be. So you kind of got to figure out who to look up to, who not to look up to, who to listen to, kind of take different pieces from different, advisors and things such as that to kind of grow and flourish how you want to and kind of
Mhm.
authentically become who you are.
That's a good closing. But one last question. What's the coolest project or task you've ever worked on in your job, even
uh
now or like previously at
Okay,
your
yeah, because
previous
just started here,
job?
so working on a couple things, but I would say previously I've had some great opportunities. I'll take it kind of back even further, working with the Philadelphia Eagles, had an opportunity to work with Tide in her cold washing campaign. So you never know what you're, like I said, putting out those fires. I was still an intern, dumping ice on the field to get the cold washing campaign to look right for the filming. But then also I've had an opportunity to, work with, people like Verizon and doing their salute to service campaign and working with like, athletes like Jalen Hurts and, working with him and being able to help film that stuff and get all the pieces and assets together for certain content for there. So I've had a lot of different opportunities and even working at training camps and helping put those together. I've had a lot of different opportunities that I say I'm blessed to be a part of, but some of those are top that come to mind. And that cold washing campaign was something that was fun, a lot of long nights, but seeing swoop in, an ice bath and sitting there reading a children's book and, talking about how the different deal points we can get for people to realize, washing your clothes in cold water is still effective, saving money and things such as that. And then also the salute to service was pretty cool, working with Jalen Hurts and paying tribute to our servicemen and women that help for our country and things such as that. So I believe those are kind of the two that come to mind that I was proud to be a part of.
And I bet you it's cool to actually see the commercials like, oh my gosh, I played a part in this.
Yeah, then
So
coming
that's
that
always
stuff come
good.
on
You'll always
social.
have those.
Yeah, it's great moments. I'll definitely say it makes you realize your hard work pays off, and all those long hours are great to be a part of, and how your
Maybe
team
not
came
in the
together.
moment. You're like, man, I'm miserable. But once you
Yeah,
see it,
like
you're
you
like, this
maybe in
is
the moment you're like,
perfect.
dang, I'm tired. Like, I'm ready to go home and put my feet up. But at the end of the day, it's all worth it. You're doing a greater good for a lot of people, and it's gonna affect a lot of people. So you just got to think about the bigger picture and how many people you're helping and how many lives you're touching. And I think that all comes to play when you see it on social media or you see the commercial or you get the congratulations from your sponsor or the player or anything like that. You're like, wow, this was all worth it.
Thank you so much for this interview. Thank you so much again.